If there's a single word to describe the month of July for you, Cancer, it is worth. Whether that is self-worth, your finances, your values, or even the things that you prioritize, worth is really going to be a very ubiquitous theme, especially as we have Venus going retrograde beginning around August 17th and actually continuing until September 3rd. The next couple of months really are asking big questions about the way that you spend and invest, whether that is quite literally monetarily or even energetically. Self-worth is also going to be a very important theme as well, especially as we are in your season for a good portion of July. We do also start this month off with a full moon in Capricorn, so there could be shifts that are happening in a close relationship for you. This doesn't necessarily mean that things are coming to an end, but as you are understanding yourself differently or as your own needs or priorities shift, it just naturally makes sense that there are also changes that are happening in your intimate connections as well. Before we dive into this month's reading, I just want to thank all of you who support this channel and also reached out last month in support of my cat, Benny. He's actually doing a lot better, I'm very happy to say. So thank you so much for your prayers, words of encouragement, and your donations. I really, really appreciate all of it. My heart was just so touched during a really challenging time, so thank you so much. For those of you who are brand new to this channel, my name is Michael, and I utilize tarot and tropical astrology to intuit monthly forecasts for your zodiac sign. If you want to make sure that you're always up to date, definitely be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you never miss out on what's in the cards for you. I do also just want to give my friendly reminder that I will never DM you or reach out to you in the comments to solicit my services. Anyone who does that is just an imposter, they're fake, they're trying to scam you, so please report and ignore them. And if you do want to book a reading for me, you can find all of my links in the description of this video, including links for personal readings, distance Reiki sessions, and my social media accounts. Before we pull some tarot cards for you, I did actually start off with some animal cards, and I pulled the hummingbird and the golden egg. And I really love this hummingbird card. It's a very vibrant card, and to me, it really indicates a lightness of spirit, traveling light, if you will. And that might be something that's a literal message for some of you. Some of you may be doing some sort of clearing out or getting rid of things that no longer feel aligned for you or that you no longer need. And traveling light is kind of a theme for you this month as well. You're really finding these sources of sweetness, this nectar in your life, and that's how you're going to maintain a very high energy and a very kind of excited energy as well. I also really do see a big focus on the heart chakra with the golden egg here. That's actually what this card represents in the animal spirit deck. So there's a lot of focus on the heart chakra, both on give and take. And if there's been some struggle with maybe manifestation or finding relationships that are compatible for you, you may be working on themes of being good enough to receive, working through subconscious beliefs, working through attachment issues, working through whatever limitations that were either conditioned in you or that you internalized. I really do see that this month is honestly quite beautiful. I feel like you're becoming something very radiant, very golden this month. I'm very curious and excited to see what tarot cards come up for you. We do also have a new moon in your sign as well. That's actually happening on the 17th. And you may know this, Cancer, you are ruled by the moon. So whatever the moon is doing is very, very important for you in particular. And being in your first house of self and identity, this new moon in Cancer, it really is like a new chapter for you personally. So very, very exciting energy. And this is happening right before Venus goes retrograde on the 22nd. So there could really be a lot of your values that are shifting, or, you're really becoming aware of what is most important to you. But this is your time. This is a new beginning for you. And it feels like you're making lifestyle changes along with this almost like personal awakening that you are going through. Interesting. We have the High Priestess coming out first here. And so your intuition has been very, very strong. You're becoming more sensitive to yourself, to others, to your environment. And it feels like that could also be part of the shifts that are happening. When we increase our frequency, when we become more intuitive, our tolerance, or rather our ability to persist in environments, relationships, or situations that aren't aligned with us actually does decline or go down. So it does feel like there has been a spiritual shift that you have been undergoing. Your intuition has been very, very active. And this makes a lot of sense, particularly because we had a lot of Gemini energy last month. Gemini represents your subconscious mind, your dream world. There's been a lot of things that have been hidden, or a lot of things that aren't necessarily visible on the surface that have been very prevalent themes in your life lately. So very, very interesting here. What else do we have for Cancer? What else do we have for Cancer for the month of July? Show us clearly, please. You're actually following your intuition more. You are taking action. When you feel something, you know when it's time to take action. You've also discerned impulses from intuition. So you've discerned fear from intuition. You've discerned desire from intuition. And you're mastering this art of knowing when something is a divine guidance for you, or a higher guidance for you, and when to take action. And we are on the precipice of a lot of change this month, Cancer, with the world. Very central to this reading for you. So there could be beginnings. There could be endings. But it's all in the highest good. It's all in the name of personal growth and development. There is an ascension that is happening here, and it feels like you are finally ready to act in some way, Cancer. Following through on a dream or an intuition or calling. And there could be many opportunities that are waiting for you. It does feel like there is a pausing here with the Two of Swords. There may be some delays, even though you have a very clear sense of moving forward or the direction you want to go in. This isn't super surprising because Venus is retrograde, and again, there could be financial components or just logistical things that are potentially delaying or changing plans for you with the Two of Swords. We do also have the Empress as a challenge, which is all about abundance, creativity, and love. So there may be some frustration here. And again, this is just literally the most perfect card for this month because Venus is going retrograde. And when a planet goes retrograde, it tends to be a bit more of a challenging energy for us. And there's a lot of rethinking. There's a lot of reassessing that happens. The Two of Swords could also indicate that some of you could be cutting off contact with a person, and it's not because you don't care about them. It's almost like there's something that's incompatible here. Or things could be very one-sided. Because with the hummingbird here, there is this sense of you doing things that are nurturing to you, and you finding sources of life force energy and vitality and creativity. Savoring the sweetness. And it almost feels like you've been trying to get that in the wrong places. And you're recognizing that now. And with the world, it's like you need to make some moves. You need to make some changes that are just bigger than changing your day-to-day routine. And that's something that humans do very often. We want to change things in the least disruptive way possible to us. We like to maintain our status quo. But I think there's this recognition and even this longing or yearning for something very different. You are ready for this, and you've known this, Cancer, with the High Priestess. You've known you've needed to make these changes for some time. So let's clarify or go into more specific areas of your life. I do feel like there has been a lot coming up with relationships, which again does make sense because we have the full moon in Capricorn at the start of this month. There could be a really big conversation pretty early on in July between you and another person. This doesn't have to be romantic, but it is probably a very close and intimate relationship. Maybe there is something that is coming to an end with the Ten of Swords. Putting a stop to something, putting a stop to a cycle with the Wheel of Fortune. This Wheel of Fortune was actually in reverse. But it feels like there is this change or this end of a cycle, an end of a pattern. It's like you've been in a carousel in your relationships, Cancer, and now something is finally stopping or ending. And if this isn't a relationship coming to an end, it's almost like it could be for some of you where there's been a very challenging cycle with you or another person in your life, and that's ending. The challenges you've been going through together are ending, but I feel like for most of you, this does represent the end of a relationship or even the end of a pattern or cycle. You are putting a stop to it. And even if you're not in a relationship, even if you're single, you could be committing to changing the patterns that you've had in relationships in the past and the way that you connect one-on-one. I feel like there's something with cycles, there's something with patterns, there's something with your conditioning that is changing. You're getting off the emotional roller coaster. And with the Empress here, it's like you know your worth. And I said it at the beginning, worth is a key word for you this month. What else is happening in relationships for Cancer? What else is happening? Yeah, I feel like you've been in a rough cycle for some time with the Nine of Wands, but we do have the King or Father of Cups coming into the picture as well. This actually does feel like there is a light at the end of the tunnel, or there is someone coming into your life who feels very mature or wise, someone who has done a lot of healing or is just very self-aware and aware of others. Someone who's very, very emotionally intelligent. And this could potentially be a Scorpio energy, could also be another Cancer or Pisces. Maybe this is even just your energy for now. Maybe this is energy that you are embodying. I often do think of the King of Cups as a bit of a therapist as well. So maybe there is something that you are resolving in therapy, but I actually do feel like there is someone coming in. And that's even why I was pulling these cards. It felt like there was someone who was coming into your life who's very, very important, or there is some sort of stability that you are finally reaching with somebody else. Again, especially if they are a water sign. Could also be Sagittarius with the Wheel of Fortune here as well. Something that's also happening that's really, really important to pay attention to this month, Cancer. We do have the nodes, which is where the eclipses occur, switching into new signs. So the North Node, this area of growth or expansion, this kind of target, if you will, is entering into the sign of Aries, while the South Node, which represents old ways of being, old ways of defaulting, or things we are kind of releasing, is going into Libra. And so collectively, the contracts, the partnerships, the agreements we have made that aren't aligned with us are being purged. And we're also coming into more authentic connections over the next couple of years, because that's how long the nodes will be in these signs respectively. For you in specific, Cancer, there is a lot of focus on your personal life, on home, your roots, and maybe even childhood wounds or childhood conditioning. There's just a lot of focus on kind of private affairs, and you might even be going into a phase where it's like you're really living more for yourself or for your family or the people who are closest to you. What else do we have for Cancer? I'm curious what's going on for you financially, because that does feel like a really big theme. It might feel like you are defending your resources or, up against some challenging situations with the Seven of Wands. But you have the Magician here, Cancer, so I feel like it's really important to do manifestation work and to even do shadow work where you might be manifesting experiences or manifesting scarcity based off of limiting beliefs. Because I do feel like you have all the elements here. You have the ability to manifest the abundance that you desire. But with the Seven of Wands, it's like you feel like you need to defend yourself. You might have been in survival mode. For some of you, I could even see this as you are so powerful and magnetic, you're actually attracting some unwanted attention. That's kind of interesting, but I actually could see that because the Seven of Wands really is this sort of energy of defending yourself or defending something, and a lot of energies are coming at you at once. Although in this card, there's almost this strange push-pull effect that you have. You know, you could even be clearing energy in your life. You are being a light to people. But that could also be attracting some unwanted attention too. So just be very clear with your boundaries this month, especially if there are people asking you for favors or asking for your time. You might need to invest your time in something else, or just be very discerning. But this Magician is honestly really, really exciting. I feel like manifestation is something that's very, very powerful for you this month, especially with the new moon in Cancer in your sign. Yeah, Ace of Swords, new clarity, new beginnings, new opportunities for you financially or in your career. Maybe you felt like you needed to defend yourself at work, or there's just been a lot that's been happening at work, and there's finally a conversation that you're having, and it feels like you're getting your way, Cancer. Something is finally shifting, so you can focus more on the things that matter to you. You can focus more on your personal life. I think that's everything. I'll pull another oracle card for you just to kind of wrap up this reading. What other messages do we have for Cancer? Any messages from Spirit? Anything that we need to know? Wow, so the end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn, which again is happening this month, so of course this card decides to come out. And Capricorn has a lot of Saturn influence, which basically means it comes with a lot of lessons. It comes with a lot of restrictions. And this actually does represent relationship energy for some of you, or the end of a contract or an agreement that is no longer working for you. But I really just like to read this card pretty directly. The end of a tough cycle approaches, and I was getting that for you. There may still be some delays or some miscommunications this month as well, but I feel like something is lighter, something is lifting. The energy is not as heavy. And when you really follow your heart, when you really follow your intuition, Cancer, it seems like the things that were once very burdensome to you are less so. They're more like inconveniences. Anything else for Cancer? Anything else for Cancer? Full moon in Scorpio. It is time to release negativity. I mean, we were talking about that too. I definitely feel like there is a lot of purging as a part of the end of this really challenging cycle that you've been in. And I mean, even having Pluto currently in the sign of Capricorn, it is finishing up a 20-year cycle, which has been very hard for you as well, Cancer, because it's your opposite sign. So you really have felt a lot of change, a lot of transformation, particularly in the way you connect with other people, or in the way that you share your energy with others. There is a purging that's going on, but the thing is, like, this doesn't feel depressing. This doesn't feel sad. And I really, really want to stress that, especially with the hummingbird, because it's not this energy of, like, you crying and being down on yourself. It's like you finally feel free, you feel lighter, you feel more radiant with this golden egg. And it's like, instead of trying to give your love to someone else, you're really giving it to yourself. And that's something that's really important, again, because we are in your season. And that is going to make you more attractive. That is going to make your relationships flow better. So honestly, this month is really, really beautiful. Even though there are some things that might be released, it feels really good. It feels like you can finally breathe again, Cancer. And that is where I will leave off this month's reading. I do hope that this was helpful. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. That way you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. You're also welcome to check out the other videos, maybe for your moon or rising sign. There may be messages in there that didn't come up here or something that gets clarified. And all of my links are in the description box down below if you're looking for a personal reading or distance Reiki session. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Cancer. Have a happy and blessed July.